And may the God who creates us, redeems us, and sustains us be with us this morning and remain with us always. Amen. Good morning. And I'm delighted that all of you are here. Thank you. There's a story told about the 19th century British author, Robert Louis Stevenson, when he was a boy living in Edinburgh in Scotland. Now, you may remember Stevenson as the author of Treasure Island, Kidnapped, and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. One night, his mother was having a very difficult time getting him to settle down to go to sleep. Robert, it seemed, just kept looking out the window, and he was oblivious to her pleas. And eventually she asked him, it's like, what in heaven's name are you looking at out there? And then so she pulled back the curtain so she could see out the window. And she realized that he was watching the lamplighter making his way down the street, lighting one gas lamp after another. And she looked at him quizzically. And he said, don't you see? The man is punching holes in the darkness. The light shines in the darkness. And the darkness did not overcome it. Important words, the beginning of John's Gospel. It's a tough time. Even in the midst of the hope and the promise of Christmas, it is a hard, bleak, dark time. A time when it is very difficult to see a way forward. And I was talking to one of our clergy colleagues yesterday, someone who had yet another one of her matriarchs and patriarchs die. And she said, 9 people, Bonnie. We've lost 9 people this year. It's just devastating us. And we're all so sad. And these Zoom memorial services, oh my God, they're not cutting it. Friends, we have one task these days, a task that will take precedence over all others, and it's a task that we will need help with from each other in order to achieve it. And our task in the midst of this hard, dark, COVID-ridden time is don't stop believing. Don't stop believing. It's more than a song. For me, it's a theology. When Stephen Perry wrote the song Don't Stop Believing for his band Journey, he was inspired from a time when he was playing a lot of gigs and venues here in Detroit. And he was having a hard time sleeping. So he found himself at all hours of the night looking out his window down onto the boulevards, where all he could see were shadows of people standing in the street, waiting and pacing. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevards, their shadows searching in the night. And then suddenly, one of them would walk under the street lamps. And then they would become real visible people, moving from the dark of the night to the bright of the streetlights. And that's where the lines of the song come from. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard, their shadows searching in the night. Don't stop believing. Hold onto the feeling. Street light people, don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling. Street light people. Now more than ever, we need to be street light people, moving towards the light, punching holes in the dark, believing that we together can prevail and that together we can be people of faith. And not blind faith that says God has a plan, and not insipid faith that says it will be okay, and not sappy faith that says they're in a better place, but streetlight faith, faith that sees a bit of hope glowing and shining, that draws us out from the cold shadows of our doubts and pushes us to risk believing. And though some of us may falter, others will just drag us along into the spotlight of God's hope. So what am I talking about? Street light faith in the real world. I'm talking about this past April and May, when suddenly more than 1 million Michiganders were out of work and short of food. And we, all of us in the Diocese of Michigan, raised more than $220,000 to help feed our neighbors in South Central and the southeastern part of our state. I'm talking about people staying home and isolated to stay safe. But then when one of our seniors in one of our faith communities reaches a milestone birthday, car after car after car, driven by people from that person's congregation, going by their house and honking and waving and bringing birthday wishes and prayers like no other. Or an 80-year-old, a parishioner from East Lansing, hears the call for more PPE. And she is a devoted, some might even say obsessed quilter. And so, since March, she has sewn more than 1,900 face masks and given every single one of them away for free. And she said she hasn't even needed to buy any material because she's kind of a fabric magnet. She is using her gifts, her streetlight faith, to punch a whopping hole in the darkness of our country, not having enough personal protective equipment to fight this virus. Streetlight people punching holes in the darkness for ourselves, for each other, for our neighbors, and for those we have yet to meet, bit by bit, moment by moment. Please embrace the hard-won, gritty faith that pulls us all out from the deep shadows of doubt and darkness to the profound light of possibility and hope. Don't stop believing. In him was life, and the life was the light to all people. And the light continues to shine in the darkness. And the darkness cannot overcome it then or now. Amen.